Kyrie Irving says he is not going to stand down and doesn't believe he's done anything wrong in promoting an anti-Semitic film on his social media accounts. This, despite Nets owner Joe Tsai and the NBA both releasing statements condemning Irving's decision. Shannon, what's your reaction to Kyrie's comments?
Me personally, Skip, this is Kyrie. This is who he is. You know he's going to dig in now because he's caught in backlash. Nick Friedel challenged him. Joe Tsai tweeted at him. Wish he'd have just put him into a room and had a conversation. Just because he tweets something, that doesn't mean you have to compound an issue by tweeting back at him. Just call him in. Hey, you're the owner. Just say, Kyrie, I'd like to talk to you about something that you posted. Look, Kyrie always wants you to think. He went to Duke. He wants you to think that he's a physicist and he's the smartest guy in the room and he's a conspiracy theorist. And he says, well, what if that didn't happen? I know, okay, I understand that it could have, but what if it didn't? Okay, even if it did happen, what if it didn't happen? What if who were actually responsible for it wasn't really responsible for it? See, that's how he does. And he's like, I just want to play devil's advocate. So me personally, Skip, I don't listen to anything Kyrie has to say. I think he's a phenomenal basketball player, but he just says a whole lot of stuff, and there are enough of his followers because he has a large enough platform. They're gonna say, Kyrie, you right. And the more people all he needs is one person to tell him that he's right, other than himself, and he's gonna keep it going. And so for me, this is, I ain't got no problem with freedom of speech. Freedom of speech in America does not mean you're free of consequences in America. So you can say whatever you want. You can spew whatever you want. But when the backlash and the consequences come, don't come, oh, cry me, Kanye. Oh, now all of a sudden, you're like, oh, they got a knee on my neck, and it reminds me I was like Emmett Till and yada, yada. I don't want to hear that. Because when you were saying what you were saying, it was without repercussion. I'm free. I'm this, I'm that. And then somebody had to remind him, you look a lot like Shannon Sharp. Remember when OJ said, OJ, I ain't black, I'm OJ. Kanye started to believe that too.
Yep.
That's enough of that. All praises goes to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakwadash. Up on this goes into the apostles and elders of the great millstone that have taught me the truth, and much love and peace. Blessings goes out to all you hopeful elect brothers that are teaching the word of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, in truth and in sincerity. I wanted to do this lesson regarding this backlash recently happening behind Kyrie Irving tweeting what they call an anti-Semitic book. And that pretty much, that wave and that, word of anti-Semitism has pretty much been the stamp of what's going on in the past several weeks. You had Kanye West spearhead this whole thing when he spoke out on Twitter and went on a Drinks Champ episode to really speak some truth to light, but the response from the media and a lot of his business partners, right, which people he's connected with, was to label him as an anti-Semite. Now you have just a couple of weeks later, Kyrie Irving, he puts a link, or I believe it was a reference to a book, a well-known book. If you're in the truth, like brothers, I've been knowing about this book for several years, and they have a documentary attached to it, but I've never checked it out. It's called, and I knew it's been getting traction, it's called Hebrews to Negroes. And, Kyrie Irving was labeled, he's like, as you can see, getting backlash behind promoting this book because the book is, how did I put it? It's been branded as anti-Semitic. When you check out the book, it's not anything to do with being an anti-Semite. Being an anti-Semite is just a detraction and a defense mechanism set up by certain powerful people. Let's just call them Jewish for argument's sake, or for this video's sake, so it doesn't get taken down. What they put out there to label you in defense of themselves when you call them out for what they do. Same thing with this situation here. Because look at this. You had Malcolm X speak on himself being called anti-you-know-what back in the 1960s. Because this narrative has been going on for quite a while, since the early, I believe, 1920s when the ADL was first formed to combat a lot of what people were saying, because their people have been getting called out or going back all the way to the 1800s for a lot of their devious dealings. So overtly, they had to form these organizations that gain power through the media to give their voice power when they speak.
Malcolm X is an American hero. He's even got a holiday honoring him, May 19th. Let's see what an American hero has to say when they asked him, was he anti-Semitic?
Are you anti-Semitic?
Anti-Semitic.
You've many of the things that I've read about you, and you've made a mention a couple of times about the Jews and everything, and I'm wondering if you are personally anti-Semitic.
No. How can I be anti-Semitic when the Arabs are half the Muslim world is Semitic? If I was anti-Semitic, I'd be anti-Arab and anti-everything else. No, I think that in this country, there's one mistake that the Jews make. They put themselves in a position where whenever anybody gives an objective analysis of the role that they play, they defend themselves by accusing you of being anti-Semitic. And a Negro is not anti-Semitic when he says that the man who's exploiting him in his community is white, because it is a white man who owns all the stores. Now, is it an accident that these whites who own these stores are Jewish? If it's an accident, then the fact that he says the Jew on the corner is exploiting me isn't an anti-Semitic statement. It's just more descriptive of the man who's exploiting him.
So with that...
See? It's just the truth. It's the truth of what's going on. But like Esau, being who he is, a liar and deceiver and the devil, just twists the narrative and doesn't, because really this whole thing is not about you. As you can see, the response from these people through their media outlets when they label people as anti-Sems, right? They don't get to the nitty and gritty of whether, say, a Kyrie Irving is saying something true, whether Kanye West is saying something true, whether the book Hebrews to Negroes is true. No, the truth of the matter is anti-Semitic. The only thing they want you to the truth of the matter is that, well, how can I put it? The truth doesn't matter in this situation when it comes to them label you an anti-Semite. What matters to them is that you are coming against their narrative and against their framework. You're exposing them. That's what the problem is. You are exposing the light behind the dealings of this people, and that's dangerous to them. So, to play on the psychology of the people, right, because people are simple, they slander. They call you an anti-Semite. They play the victim. And they use all their narratives in witchcraft and deception to be able to corral people into backing them up and view them as the victim, while view anyone who says anything against them as an aggressor or as a hater of those people. Well, a lot of what we're saying has nothing to do with however we feel about them emotionally. It's about the truth. If we say we believe that we are the real Hebrew Israelites and we believe their people were converts and they're not direct descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, what the fuck does that have to do with hate or anti-Sem? But you see, the whole point of it all is that they don't want the truth to be exposed. And above all, they don't want the Israelites to wake up. Because these people know very well who we are. They know who they are on the highest level. Let's say maybe not the common JEW knows the truth behind who they are. Let's say they really believe they are who they say they are. Well, on the highest levels, the people that know, the billionaires and multi-billionaires, 100 billionaires, they know very well who the real children of Israel are. And they know how dangerous it is for them, for the children of Israel to wake up. So that's why they're trying to nip the truth in the bud and make a public outing, like a public display of those who speak on their heritage, man. Because, of course, they wouldn't do that with us. Because they would just lead Jake directly to the prophet. So they're doing it with the people which Jake admire the most, which is celebrities. That has a pull with Jake. You know, when celebrities go through certain things, the common Negro or Hispanic or Native American can identify with that because they're all into them like that. When a rich man speaketh, right? So with that being said, I'm going to go to a couple scriptures. This is 2 Corinthians 13:8. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. See? You can't do anything against truth because truth always comes to the surface. Truth is a constant. And furthermore, truth is always made plain and obvious. Like you can't lie to people for long enough and tell them that the sky is purple. Right? Midday, you know the color of the sky is blue. It's obvious. It's the truth. You can see it and observe it. But a lot of aspects of the truth, as far as the identity of who's who when it comes to the Bible and a lot of other things, has been hidden due to loss of records, due to, historical facts being twisted, due to modern day classism and classification of race. Right, labeling descendants of enslaved, really Israelites who came over here from Africa to America on slave ships, labeling them as black, labeling indigenous people as Hispanic or Native American, when our true identity is Israelites, naming white, so-called white people as white when they're really Edomites, because everyone has a biblical nationality, but majority of the populace swifts has shifted away from that, but yet there's one people who still can identify from a biblical standpoint. How much sense does that make? This is, let's go to the next precept. This is 2 Timothy 3:12. It says, yeah, and all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution. And that's what you suffer when you make yourself, when you proclaim the righteousness of the Lord, like the scriptures say, he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. Because there are evil forces at work in the world. There are evil people that are hell-bent and have their all invested in destroying what we believe in the truth, not getting out of the identity of the Messiah, of the identity of his people, of the prophecy of the kingdom to come. How the very bottom, the people at the bottom will be the kings to come. You see this? Mark 10:31. But many that are first shall be last, and the last first. Many that are first shall be last. Do you know how harmful that statement is? If you're a current world ruler, imagine that. Worth billions or trillions of dollars, have pull of the most powerful companies in this world, you are considered one of the first. But Yahushua said you will be last, and the last, the despised, the forgotten, the ones in the hood and the ghettos, those are the people that's gonna be first. You see that? Let's go to Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And that's really what this is going to boil down to. You see, they're setting a tone and a narrative to really scare our people that are into the truth, or may come across the truth in the future, to dissuade them from getting into this knowledge. And why are they doing this? Because if you're into this knowledge, they want it to be made known that you are an enemy of the state, that you are that belief is frowned upon by society. And to put it all the way to the extreme in the future is that they want to actually put hands on you, to convict you, to persecute you. Because Kyrie and Kanye are suffering persecution on a certain level, whether it be financially right now. Like Kanye, he's losing a lot of deals. Kyrie, his position on the team is at risk. But they wanted to put it to all the way to the point of imprisonment, to label you as a terrorist for having these beliefs. Just like they did with a lot of Muslims. or even the Japanese during World War II. Japanese people that lived in America, because America was at war with Japan, Japan was identified as an enemy. Well, Japanese citizens got rounded up and put in concentration camps. Think about that. So that's what it's boiled down to. And the scriptures say the devil shall cast some of you into prison. It says, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So that's what it's boiling down to. It's born down to the point of being tried unto death. That's where these devils ultimately, their spirit is being stirred up towards that decision of imprisoning those that believe in this gospel. Because this gospel, this truth, the truth of the Holy Bible is cutting them. It's cutting them. They're scared of it. They're scared of it. The scriptures tell you the word of the Most High is as a two-edged sword, dividing asunder the soul and spirit. It cuts you. It's very powerful. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Matter of fact, let's go to verse Verse 3, 2 Thessalonians 2:3 says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And who's the man of sin? It's Esau. It's the so-called white man. And the chieftains of the men of sin will be Amalek, the so-called the JWs, who call themselves JWs. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And that's what they did throughout history. Tainted the images, the dark images of Negroes in power, and reshaped that image, repainted those images to look like them. Said that evolution is more of a viable philosophy over creation, right? Got the people to stop believing in the scriptures. His facts matter, his history matters over the history of the Bible. So that's how he opposes the Most High. He opposes the Most High in every single way. His science of medicine. The scriptures tell you the Most High made medicines out the earth with the plants and etc. But Esau tells you you have to go and drink his concoction or take his VAXs. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now you know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed. And the wicked is being revealed, man. And when you think about a wicked person, that's a morally corrupt person who will lie, cheat, steal in order to get on his way. And that's who we're dealing with. That's who we're dealing with when it comes to the people who have the most power in this society. So what do you think they're going to do when the truth is brought out by certain individuals? The truth about who they are. They come against it, and they result, and they see, for them, it's not about coming to the facts. It's not about getting to the facts and proving anything. They will lie and cheat and steal in order to get where they're going. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all powers and lying wonders. See, powers and lying wonders, like a lot of his technology. Those are his powers and lying wonders. Use it to deceive the people. So, hey, this is boiling down to the wire. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Shalom.